You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that, and the Supreme Court saw that.
Former President Trump hailing a Supreme Court decision preventing Colorado and other states from kicking him off their ballots. It's one of the many legal challenges colliding with his White House campaign. Shannon Bream is in Washington with our legal eagles, Andy McCarthy and Jonathan Turley. Shannon.
Yeah. Good evening, Brett and Martha. And guys, if only we had something to talk about. There's nonstop legal stuff going on here. But let's start with that yesterday. The Colorado ballot, a winning argument for the Trump team, but they've got this immunity case. He loved the Supreme Court yesterday. I'm not sure he's going to feel the same way this summer.
Yeah, that's the problem with sequels, is they don't always go what you had hoped for. The fact is the odds are against the president on immunity. Now, it's true that once you get into that high grass of presidential immunity, you often don't know where you'll come out, because some of the justices may be concerned less with the result as they are with the rationale. That the D.C. Circuit itself was sweeping. It's not just Trump's arguments that are sweeping. And that may have given pause for some of these justices to say we need a little more delineation. But there's a very good chance, in my view, that they could end up sending the mandate back to the trial court in June, is the most likely. Then that would restart the trial, and they'd have to get through pretrial motions. But if it goes back in June, it's possible that you could have a trial before the election. And it certainly, in this case, the special counsel has said that he does not feel that he is bound by the longstanding policy at DOJ to avoid trials before an election.
Too close to the election. Yeah, but before we even get there, Andy, there's this matter of the New York trial that you got to get through. And the Trump team has sent a blistering letter to Alvin Bragg up there saying, you're proceeding with all of these trials and these things like Alan Weisselberg being in court again with a plea deal this week. And yet, in their words, you are allowing people guilty of brutal attacks on law enforcement and murderers to just roam the city free.
Well, it's look, he's in a political battle as much as a legal one, and he's fighting it that way. And he's got a lot of ammunition with Alvin Bragg, who is the paragon progressive prosecutor and who does have a well-deserved reputation in New York for minimizing the number of cases they take and then taking the cases they have and pleading them down. Contrast this with the 76-year-old nonviolent Weisselberg, who he has now prosecuted twice in 18 months and is about to put in, I guess, Rikers Island for another 5 months.
So jury selection starts, we think, on the 25th. Jonathan, how well do you think that's going to go for the former president, who so far has not found New York's court system to be very friendly for him?
Well, it's not very friendly, and it's a nightmarish jury pool, only rivaled by Washington, D.C., which he will also face with the special counsel. And, you know, the fact is that even a hung jury in New York is quite an effort for the defense in a case like this. But Bragg is continuing to just pull out the stops. We just saw that in this case with the objections in the letter, that you get the feeling that he's running out and shooting the wounded before he gets to Trump. And the question is, at what point does a modicum of restraint kick in on any of this? But I think that the Bragg prosecution is the most flawed and questionable of all the cases. And I would be surprised if it could withstand appellate review.
All right, gentlemen, much more to discuss throughout the night. We'll get to more legal topics. Thank you both. Brett and Martha, back to you.
All right, Shannon, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.